I'm Graham Love. I'm the Chief Exec and the Town Centre Manager of the Town Centre Company in Taunton. Well, we've looked for an apprentice in the area of business administration, and we have just taken on our second apprentice in a series of apprentices. Jessica Bowery is the apprentice that's working with us at present. We have a broad-based business admin role, so our apprentice gets involved in basic administration tasks, but because we're a small team, we're able to offer much more than that. So Jess is actually working on project work, some of which are projects that have been given to her for more medium to long-term projects. She's also providing support and assistance to my existing staff team. And Jess is getting involved in things like local event management, a bit of marketing, and also helping us to increase our web presence. So going beyond our Town Centre Company website to look at social networking, Facebook, Twitter and so on. Well, we do operate as a small business, so we've got all of the pressures that any business might face in terms of workload and being able to deliver a service. The benefit really to me is I guess twofold. From my point of view as an employer, I get a young person with lots of bright ideas, energy and enthusiasm, and they're able to make a valuable contribution to support our existing small team. The flip side to that, of course, is that as an experienced manager and experienced team, we get the opportunity to impart some of our skills through mentoring and development of that individual, and that's something that brings its own reward. Yeah, we find that the opportunity for the apprentice to attend college on a regular basis is very good. It gives them, a sort of a regular pattern to their week. And at the moment, we have our apprentice out on a half-day placement at college. So we find that that's a really good balance for us. We're able to make use of the apprentices' time and develop and mentor them for 4.5 days a week, and then they're able to get some contact with their peers, for working in apprenticeships in other organisations. So I think although that means the apprentice is away from the coalface for half a day, there are some further benefits there in terms of the experience that they get in the round. Well, having an apprentice brings a new dimension. It lowers the average age of our workforce. We've got a part-time staff team of 4 employees, so having an apprentice around helps to sort of bring some life and excitement into our little group. So that's positive. And I think the other aspect is that it's an extra pair of hands for us, not only in terms of doing some day-to-day admin work, but reception, telephone duties, that type of thing. But also it means that my staff team are able to give pieces of work to the apprentice to give her a varied and interesting workload, and of course that helps to lighten the load a little bit amongst the other team members. So it's a very welcome addition to the mix of the team. Our first apprentice worked with us on NVQ Level 2 Business Admin for a period of 8 months. They decided that they didn't want to continue on to NVQ Level 3, but they wanted to use some of the work experience they had gained to go travelling and to gain temporary work overseas. So I understand that our first apprentice is now making ready to go to Australia for a year. So hopefully some of the work that she was able to do here at the Town Centre Company will transfer around to the other side of the world. We're very keen to continue with our apprenticeship programme. I think because of the size of our business and our time and budget constraints means that perhaps we won't go beyond taking on 1 apprentice at a time. But I've been very impressed with the quality of young people that have come forward for apprenticeships, and I think it's something that I'd like to continue in the future. I think first of all, is to take the plunge and to do it. The local training providers are there to give employers a lot of help and guidance in terms of promoting the apprenticeship vacancy, attracting the right quality of people, and also through the interview process. So I think it's something that other employers should consider. Not only are they able to gain a valuable member of the team, but they'll also be able to give something back in terms of their own knowledge, skills and experience to that young person and give them a start on a career path. And I think that's a very worthwhile thing to be doing. I made some contact with Somerset College to discuss the type of role that we had available for an apprentice. and to see if there was a current programme attached to that. Also to get lots of information about the government funding that might be available or otherwise, the length of apprenticeship, and what would be required of my organisation. And then once we'd worked through that and we'd established the level of apprenticeship that we were looking for and the type of person, we were able then to market that through a national website, national database, and that gave us a pool of young people to interview and to choose from.
I'm Jessica Bowery, I'm 18 and I'm doing the business and admin course. Well, I originally went to college with a kind of clear set of what I wanted to do, and I came out and kind of realised that that really wasn't what I wanted to do, and for the few months afterwards I looked into a lot of different education sets and things like that, because I didn't want to go to university not having a very clear path ahead of me. My mum suggested the Apprentice site because they have an apprentice working with them at the moment, and I went on there and just applied for several that really interested in me, and ended up with this one. It really works well for me. My previous college was very academic, so I didn't necessarily flourish as well as I thought I would. And then coming here and getting the experience that lets me kind of realise what I want to do and the potential that I could do in different areas of work, and studying at the same time is really good, because I'm not doing the same thing 24/7. Here I'm doing a lot of varied work, and at college I'm learning a lot of varied aspects in the study. They complement each other in the way that I'm doing a course in IT, which helps me with everything I'm learning within working on the computer here. So that's Edexcel and using the management of the site, so I can change things on there, put different events on there. And then within the business administration side of it, I'm learning a lot to do with how we as a business use the different aspects of administration, so how we use our resources, how we save our resources so we're not wasting any, and things like setting up meetings, and how we need to represent the company. They tend to balance each other out really well within the booklets and what I'm learning, and within the business as well. It's a very practical thing for me, having a half day where I can focus on my work and then kind of leave that behind and then focus on the college work. That's probably the best side of it, because I know that I'm still being able to support the work I'm doing and the people I support in my work role, and still being able to study at the same time. So there's a very nice balance there. With things like meetings and setting them up, we have a system here where via the email system we use, you can set up a meeting for, say, Graham, our manager, with whoever you're talking to on the phone. And we've learned lots of different ways of timekeeping and stuff, that is really, really helpful in a business like this, where I'm supporting a lot of people. I'm doing many different elements, from getting posters up and down to sending out the event guides, and perhaps supporting Lorraine, our events coordinator, and then Lou, the administration. So I find that things like that really helps me in how I can help my work. I've only ever had part-time jobs before, so this is my first full-time job. And although it's kind of slightly more relaxed than other businesses, it's very different to what I've had before. I find that going to Somerset College and being in this workplace balance it out really nice and easily. I'd definitely look into all the different courses you can do and the different business places, and sign up for as many as possible, because there's such, a varied area of what you can do, and it's really, really, really useful being in the workplace and getting experience if you're not entirely sure what you want to do, because you have that experience and you can look into the different aspects and kind of narrow it down a little bit more on what you can do, the potential that you could bring to that, and of course studying as well at the same time means that you get the qualifications that a workplace does like to look at. I'm planning, my work placement here finishes in March, and I still have some time at Somerset College where I'll be studying. So I'd like to get some work experience with the local businesses when it comes to events management, and then perhaps when I see if that really is the role I want to go through to, perhaps taking another apprenticeship, but within events management, because that's the side that has really interested me. When I've been working here, supporting Lorraine, our events coordinator, has really interested me, and I'd really look forward to kind of moving that on.